Good day, everybody. Yes. I want to welcome you to another episode of Getting Stoned with your host, Mr. Stone Batoski, coming at you live from Mother Earth. We are so grateful to have you here. I so much appreciate you taking the time to stop on by, to be here, to celebrate this day, to celebrate this moment. There's so much to be grateful for in this lifetime. And, I think it's essential that we all take a moment each and every single day to reflect on that, to exercise our gratitude muscles. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. An attitude of gratitude. That's what I'm saying. One of my favorite musicians, Stevie Wonder, says, when you are moving in the positive, your destination is the brightest star. Now I understand, we can't always be positive. It's just the nature of things. So if you are feeling a little bit down today, I want you to know that you are loved, that you do matter, that you are beautiful and brilliant, that you are lovable, and you are worthy of all of that. So I'm going to take a moment here and I'm going to wrap everybody all up here. Let's just kind of do a big old group hug. You know how we roll around here. Hug it out. Come on now, feel that energy, feel that spiraling energy that moves always, eternally, effortlessly, infinitely. Yes, the universe is vibing, and each and every one of us is connected to that, is that. You know what I'm saying? So when we hug each other, we can feel it like in the real way when we're, here in these bodies, inhabiting this three-dimensional experience that Mother Earth provides for us, right? And make no mistake, I'm still hugging y'all. Don't you doubt that for 1 second. Still hugging it out. So make no mistake, Mother Earth provides for us. She gives us all we need to survive and to thrive, and she does so unconditionally. There are no conditions on her gift. That's the beauty of it. That's the magic of it. That's the immensity of it. Freely given, unconditional love from Mother Earth. All we need to survive is given to us for free. All we need to survive is given to us for free. Think about that. This world we've done living in at this particular moment doesn't operate that way. That's not what we're taught. In fact, we're taught just the opposite. We're taught to be afraid that there isn't enough. Scarcity. It's a scarcity mindset that's conditioned into us. And I'm all for setting that conditioning down and for recognizing the fundamental truth that I'm speaking about right now. What do we need to survive? Human beings, right? What do we need? We need food, right? We need water. We need air. We need sunshine. We are social creatures, so we do need socializing. We need. I would say our fellow humans. I would suppose there's a handful of us that could thrive simply with the community of the earth. But I do believe most human beings need other human beings to really truly thrive. So Mother Earth provides us with all of those things. The food comes from the earth. The soil, the rain, the sunshine, all those things bring to us the fruits and the vegetables. And the other life forms that are here that provide us sustenance. sentient beings, the cows and chickens and fishes. These are all creatures of the earth. And I personally believe that part of the circle of life is life and death. And as long as we're treating these fellow sentient beings with kindness and respect, then they are a part of that nourishment that Mother Earth provides to us. Now, of course, we are not treating them with kindness and respect for the most part. So I do want to say that I am strongly against factory farming. I believe it's cruel and unjust and creates significant amounts of negative karma, most of which is reflected in the poor health that you see all around. Mother Earth provides all we need to survive and to thrive. Of course, again, clean water, clean air, we're doing a heck of a job of polluting so much that there isn't so much of that clean water and clean air available to us anymore. And the soil that is responsible for fortifying the food with all the vitamins and minerals and what have you that we do need, the soil has also been significantly degraded. So we are certainly being very unmindful, but that does not change the fact that everything we need to survive and thrive is given to us free of charge by Mother Earth, the trees, the plants, the animals. All of it is here. It's not for us. I do need to make that distinction. I do not believe in the perspective that humans have dominion over the earth. I think that's a perspective that's actually been the source of significant amounts of the trouble that we've currently gotten ourselves into. We are not the superior being on this planet by any stretch of the imagination. I would, in fact, argue, as the Native American people would suggest that humans are actually the youngest of the creatures here on Mother Earth, and as such, we have the most to learn. The elders, the other animals, the trees, the mountains, the rivers, they have been here much, much, much longer. They are far wiser. Humans, from my perspective, are the ones who have the most to learn, and as such, that requires a great deal of humility and to circle around back to a gratitude for the many blessings that are, again, given to us unconditionally. So tap into that perspective, that awareness, that understanding, that appreciation. See where it leads you, y'all. All right, so on to the next thing here. We're gonna do another chapter in this book, 33 Myths of the System. I've been doing that here now for a few weeks. I reckon we will get through the whole book. There's 33 myths in total. We'll probably get a third of them is what I'm thinking. We'll get through number 11, and then maybe we'll jump off on a couple other things before we circle back around to this particular book. But for today, we are on myth number 10. This one is, curiously enough, given what I was just talking about, this one is the myth of nature. The most ludicrous and destructive myth of the system is the notion not just that there is a reality in which constant exponential growth can sustain itself indefinitely, but that this is the reality we actually inhabit. Whoa, that was a good first paragraph there, Darren. Yeah, this brother can write. He's a smart dude. I've never met him, but he's got to be a kind and wonderful person to spend time with would be my guess. All right, anyways, let's get back on into it here. The myth of nature. In the reality we do inhabit, the temperatures of the earth is catastrophically rising. Everest and ice are pouring into the oceans. Alaska and Siberian permafrost containing billions of tons of carbon dioxide, methane, and mercury, along with God knows what bacteria and viruses, are rapidly melting. Most wildlife has been wiped out. Ecosystems everywhere are collapsing and will soon be close to losing most of our arable land. Data on the effect of the system on the world's oceans and forests and the consequences of our consumption of energy, fossil fuels, rare earth metals, plastic, and water are all just as horrifying. Meanwhile, a handful of companies are responsible for total annihilation of the natural world, and our colossal production of pollutants continues to rise. Some of these facts are, of course, debatable, but as a whole, the evidence is incontrovertible. Many people now seem to think that because vested interests are using ecological collapse as a cover to develop the system and enslave us all further, that it is all, therefore, an invention. They seem to forget or not want to seriously consider that evidence for the catastrophic exploitation of nature has been pouring in for decades, long before it became an excuse to promote green energy or to consider the enormity of the problem far, far worse than just the hot topic of global warming or the extent of the system, how little wild is actually left on the earth or in ourselves, and what that must mean for our comfortable world. Or to consider the fact that all civilizations destroy themselves by, in effect, digging through the bottom of the raft they are floating on. Or simply to consider the evidence of their senses. The next time you hear of ongoing man-made mass extinction or see piles of animal corpses after a mysterious mass death, or wastelands where there once were rainforests, or seas covered from shore to shore with rubbish, or sea life riddled with plastic, or miles upon miles of bleached coral. The next time you hear that antibiotics are becoming useless, or that we will soon have no soil left, or that there's just no more wild left, or ask yourself why there are no more insects on your windshield or pretty birds singing in your garden. Do remind yourself, because it's sometimes easy to forget. The earth is actually dying, and the same system that makes cool cars, smartphones, fiber optic cables, Oreos, Nintendos, Teflon, Viagra, and jet skis is killing it. All of which are the reasons it is easy to forget. The ongoing obliteration of the natural world, like all the other horrors of the system, passes the distracted world by, making references to the appalling non-reality of system life seem overblown, exaggerated, hyperbolic, childish. What's the beef? It's not that bad. I can still buy Jaffa cakes, the car's running okay, and anyway, a new Bond is out soon. The natural world is dying, human culture is dying, the light of consciousness is dying, everything good is dying. The real world, beyond the artificial normality of the wind, security, and video screen, is rapidly becoming a wasteland. But nobody really notices yet. We are plummeting towards collapse. Official term for this process is progress. And will soon be facing widespread droughts, flooding, and famines, along with civil disorder on an unimaginable scale. Not only is it impossible that the system will learn to levitate, but it cannot even slow the speed of its fall. Even faced with the prospect of imminent biological annihilation and the collapse of civilization in our lifetimes, the idea that we need massive, immediate negative growth, or that the system might be to blame, or even exists, or that we should face up to the coming horrors, remains officially unsayable, and in the wealthy West, widely unthinkable. In fact, the closer we get to annihilation, the less visible the problem becomes in the news media. Only the effects are broadcast. Not just silent woodlands and empty seas, but also mass migration, wars over dwindling resources, rising prices, and so on. People are left to invent their own causes for these things, which are often very absurd. The reason that our civilization is collapsing is the same reason that every civilization collapses. Because its complexity has passed the point of diminishing returns. Nobody has solved the problem of powering a society that can only solve its problems by adding complexity with finite resources, or ever can. The problem can be postponed, and more complexity, and with it waste, added, if a new cheap energy source becomes available. When wood ran out in England, we were forced to use coal, which then powered the Industrial Revolution. But this too will sooner or later pass a point of diminishing returns. The energy return on investment, the ratio of how much stable energy is produced to how much energy was used to obtain it, in the US, for example, has fallen from 100 to 1 down to 15 to 1 in the last 70 years. There is no way to reverse this, certainly not with green energy. The only solution is to radically simplify civilization, something which no civilization has ever done, which is why they all end up collapsing. The final blow may be from war or some kind of environmental or economic collapse, but the cause is the same. It is very difficult for ordinary people to perceive all of this. They are addicted to the positive effects of complexity and shielded from its negative effects. The awareness that ordinary civilized people have of the state of the natural world is, for example, extremely narrow. The entire world is locked up in a planetary panic room comprising, at best, domesticated and therefore stupid, or symbolic and therefore unreal nature. The system, its states, corporations, and artificially intelligent machines, is and has always been incapable of perceiving nature in anything but the most crudely utilitarian terms. The tree is so many tons of timber, or resin, or just in the way. The multitude of relations that humans can have with it, much less the infinite subtlety, complexity, and beauty of the mysterious thing itself, do not exist, just as they do not for the systematic ego, which sees the tree, labels it, says, "Oh, nice, perhaps," and then moves on to something else it wants or doesn't want, or likes or doesn't like. For the ego and its system, nature does not actually exist, and so neither does its disappearance, at least the horrific magnitude of it. Isolated cases of pollution are presented and consumed. Sad stories of dying polar bears, filthy beaches, and whatnot. But the immensity of the situation of catastrophic climate meltdown, the heartbreaking ruin of all that is materially good, and the extermination of life on Earth itself, this is ignored or downplayed, offset with good news, and David Attenborough concluding a snapshot of the atrocity with, "But there is hope." For some reason, newspapers and television channels whose primary purpose is to get us all to consume are not too interested in presenting the consequences of consumption or connecting the wasteland we have made with the system which made it. Official pronouncements referring to the terminal state of the natural world are limited to focusing on scapegoats and secondary matters, such as overpopulation, overconsumption of meat, volcanoes, cow farts, natural weather cycles, anything but the system itself, along with the usual bromides that we are destroying the world and that, therefore, we who live in an environment owned by other people are responsible for saving it. For some reason, the landowners of the world are not too keen on the idea that to save the environment, what we must do is, first of all, take it out of their hands. And so, as they set up a few nice little recycling centers and ideas such as net zero, they relentlessly pump out the counter notion that we can solve civilization by voting, protesting our way to paradise, and of course that, quote, we are all in this together, unquote. Because we are despoiling the earth, we need investment in green technologies made from rare earth metals, plastics, and other petrochemical products, by the way, and biofuels made from felled forests, an unnecessary low-nutrient system-friendly vegan diet, aid sent to ecological disaster areas, green governments, organic mouse mats, and state-organized, professionally run initiatives to, quote, offset our planet cooking gases. And because we are facing environmental collapse, we need more green education, more green professionals, more green security, more green surveillance, more green technology, more green energy, and more green growth. We might even end up needing ecological martial law, an ecological world lockdown, and a reimagined, perfectly virtual world economy of hideous dystopian ecological control. But don't worry, because we are all in this together. We will certainly benefit from what we do. The system tells us that we are all equally responsible for, quote, the environment. In the real world, most people don't have an environment. They afford one. The system tells us that nature is separate from the human world, a kind of painted backdrop in front of which we get on with the, quote, real business of living in the world, pursuing, collecting, studying, avoiding, and defending objective things. Or the system tells us that, quote, everything is natural, which is to say, nothing is natural. The word is meaningless, a cultural construct, a subjective no thing, formed from whatever interpretations you wish to make of it. That objectivity and subjectivity are effects of nature is incomprehensible madness to the mind of the world, which will do whatever it can to push the natural cause of our ordinary lives from experience. It will continually generate and pursue dream worlds of future happiness, continually push unmediated contact with nature or the present moment from experience, and continually obscure, mythologize, ignore, or deny the deep reality of nature and the existential sacrifice which reveals it. The mind, in other words, builds the system until the system falls. And then mind goes out of its mind. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the myth of nature. Yeah, right on. 33 Myths of the System by Darren Allen, a radical guide to the world. I do encourage you to check this out, support this brother. I think what I said as I led into that chapter pretty much conveys my response to that chapter itself. We have damn lost our way, man. That is a fact, and we don't like to talk about it. But yeah, I don't know. What are you gonna do? And the beat goes on, and the beat goes on. I don't know if you remember that jam, but that's what I try to say when I get into this. Occasionally, sometimes people are ready to vibe on some of these things and to talk about some of these myths of the system and get real, as it were. And so when those moments come up, rare though they are, I'm always grateful to engage in those conversations, keep an open heart, keep an open mind, extend my perceptions, my perspectives of our situation. And I always end up landing back at the idea that, we don't want to deny this stuff. We don't want to pretend it doesn't exist, ignore it, get lost in all of our distractions. I don't think that not only isn't a well life lived, that not only isn't a life well lived, it is the lowest level available to us as humans. So I'm not in any way, shape, or form suggesting we deny, ignore, and what have you, and distract ourselves. Quite the opposite, in fact. But in that getting real, if you will, I think there's also a very important component of it, and that is that once you begin to consider this and these sort of perspectives settle in your heart and in your mind, it can be quite overwhelming. And so within that, I think it's important to not only give yourself a big hug, but to also to not feel like you are the problem, right? I think the universe is infinite, it's big, that, we certainly want to behave respectfully and with integrity and honor and humility and as human beings, absolutely. But, don't let it get you down. If there's that someone that you see, I don't know, in that coffee shop and you're thinking, gosh, she's really kind of cute. I'm catching the vibe. I wonder, maybe I should go say hello. Well, I would say, go say hello. That's what I would say. Just appreciate and enjoy the day, the moments. Tell that person, call your mama up and say, you know what, mama, I love you so much. Call your sister up and say, I'm so grateful that you and I have been able to walk together in this lifetime. Go outside and roll around on the grass with a big old smile on your face and laugh. Put on some music that you love and dance around the room. I just think it's so important, again, given the nature of the stuff that we're talking about today. And it's real, y'all. It is. And it can be heavy. It can be real heavy. So within that, it's so important to find the joy. So that's where I ultimately land. I think that you can hold the awareness at the same time as you can celebrate life. I think they can go hand in hand. We never know what the future holds for us, and I think it's important that we look into the eyes of one another and we see our own soul reflected there, and we extend our hearts and out there, and we remember to play. Alan Watts, another brother who I'm extremely fond of and have learned so much from. He is often talking about the importance of seeing life as a game to be played. So I really do strongly encourage you to remain mindful of that and to exercise those playful muscles, if you will. All right, let's jump on into a poem here. We're gonna do a couple poems by let's see, D.A. Levy. How about that? I don't know too much about this brother, but yeah, you know how I am with my poetry. I just love my poetry, discovering new poets, sharing it, reading it, catching the vibes of it. So yeah, let's do it. Let's do it with our brother D.A. Levy. We'll do a couple of them here from him, and this first one is called. It's titled "From Tombstone as a Lonely Charm." It's part 3. If you want a revolution, return to your childhood and kick out the bottom. Don't mistake changing headlines for changes. If you want freedom, don't mistake circles for revolutions. Think in terms of living and know you are dying and wonder why. If you want a revolution, learn to grow in spirals, always being able to return to your childhood and kick out the bottom. This is what I've been trying to say. If you attack the structure, the system, the establishment, you attack yourself. Know this. And attack if you must, challenge yourself externally. But if you want a revolution, return to your childhood and kick out the bottom. Be able to change your own internal chemistry. Walk down the street and flash lights in your head at children. This is not a game. Your childhood is the foundation of the system. Walk down the street, flash lights in your head at children, but be wary of anyone old enough to kill. Learn how to disappear before they can find you. That is, if you want to stay alive. If you want a revolution, do it together, but don't get trapped in words or systems. People are people no matter what politics, color, or words they use. And they all have children buried in their head. If you want a revolution, grow a new mind and do it quietly if you can. Return to your childhood and kick out the bottom, then become a being not dependent on words for seeing. Whenever you get bored, change headlines, colors, politics, words, change women. But if you really want a revolution, learn how to change your internal chemistry, then go beyond that. Walk down the streets and flash light at yourself. Yeah. All right, D.A. Levy. Whew, that was good. That was some good stuff right on there. Yeah. All right, so we're going to read another one here by the brother. This one is called The Suburban Prophets. Oh, it's an easy cool. That rolling of long grass, long tranquility, and long grass philosophy. Sounds almost as absurd as suburban hipsters smoking long grass, like Panama Red, while subtly discussing Plato, Opensky, Sartre, or Zen. Putting it down, it's easy. From the long grasslands and from the long grasslands, everything is good. Everything is good in the land of shade trees. Everything is God. The universe is one. Walking in the long grasslands with flowers within reach of quiet hands. You bet, motherfucker. Let me tell you about the Satori I had last week. In the suburbs, it's easy to remember golden rules and golden days. And God is good, even though non-existent. It's a good world in the suburban long grass. You can watch the grass grow and smell progress in the open sky. And it's easy to forget across the city are streets of hunger. And that suburban tranquility doesn't feed those hungry streets. And that suburban tranquility doesn't mean a good fuck on suburban lawns. It's easy to think these are jobs for everyone when you got one. It's easy to quote Lao Tzu when your wife isn't on the streets and don't have to dodge the welfare children. It's an easy cool laying on the quiet suburban long grass in tune with the universe. And it's like smoking long grass, Panama red. You just slip into an easy forgetting. And it's easy to forget some men are starving and some men with guns. Yeah. Woo. D.A. Levy. That's some nice work, brother. That is some nice work. Wow. Thank you, D.A. Thank you. Poetry is, as I say, man, it's it's the bee's knees. All right, here. Let's strum a tune. This is a cover song. I love this song. This artist is one of my favorites of all time. I was even fortunate enough to meet this man one time. So this tune is called Moon Age Daydream. It's by Mr. David Bowie. And I'm going to try my best with it. You know, as I always do, but yeah. Make of it what you will. I'm an alligator. Yeah, alright. I'm an alligator. I'm a mama, papa coming for you. I'm a space invader. Be a rock and rolling bitch for you. Keep your mouth shut. You're squawking like a pink monkey purr. It's busting up my brains for the word. Keep your electric eye on me, babe. Put your rag on my head. Press your space face up close to my love. Freak out in a moon age daydream. Oh yeah. Freak out in a moon age daydream. Oh yeah. Don't fake it, baby. Lay the real thing on me. The church of man life, such a holy place to be. Make me, baby. Make me know you really care. Make me jump into the air. Keep your electric eye on me, babe. Put your rag on to my head. Press your space face up close to my love. Reek out in the moon age daydream. Oh yeah. Freak out in the moon age daydream. Oh yeah. Freak out in a moon age daydream. Oh yeah. Freak out in a moon age daydream. Oh yeah. All right. That was David Bowie's Moon Age Daydream. That was a film that came out not too long ago, kind of a documentary about his life called Moon Age Daydream. Really, really, really well done. Check it out if you're a fan. And if you are not a fan, you are not familiar with Mr. David Bowie, then stop whatever it is the hell you're doing right now and start to dig on into that brother. He is truly one of the most remarkable human beings ever to have lived, as far as I'm concerned. All right. Thank you so much for stopping on by, everybody. I love all y'all. You know, I'm sending many blessings out your way. I appreciate you taking the time to come on down here and give this little show of mine a listen. Until next time, this is Stone Petoskey saying peace out.